Estamos con Jenson Button en esta entrevista que está dando para el
Jenson, well, thanks for your time. Thanks for this interview. How are you feeling of being here in Mexico?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, I've only been here once before, Mexico, and that was in Cancun. That was 1998. It's a really interesting story, actually, because 4 days into my holiday, I got a phone call from Alain Prost to drive one of his Formula One cars, so my first proper Formula One test. So I have really good memories of being in Mexico. But yeah, this is only my second time here, my first time to Mexico City. So I'm loving it. It's been a lot of fun so far.
You were following Formula One since you were a kid, so you have any memories from the races in Mexico in the 90s, early 90s?
No, not really. I mean, when I was younger, everything used to just blend into one. But I used to love watching Formula One as a kid, and it was more the 80s that I enjoyed with Ayrton Senna, Alain Prost, and the late 80s at McLaren, and Nigel Mansell, obviously a British hero.
Well, right now we are just days from the start of the season. After all those practices we have, where right now at this point, where the McLaren stands against the competition?
I think we're quite competitive. I don't think at the moment we're the quickest. Around Barcelona anyway, I don't think so. I think the Mercedes for me is a team that stands out to be one step in front of everyone at the moment in terms of pace. But you never know in Melbourne. I've been in Melbourne before with a car that isn't the quickest at other circuits, but it can work very well around the streets of Melbourne. I've won there 3 times in the last 4 years, so it's a circuit that's been very good to me. So I still go there confident that we can have a great race. And I feel that the changes that we've made to the car over the winter, big changes, most teams haven't. I think this is really going to put us in good stead for the 19 races, because it's such a long season, you can't just think about race one.
A lot of people follow the Formula One here in Mexico since decades now, but there's a lot of new fans that are following Sergio Perez and Esteban Gutierrez, both of them. So what can you tell the people about the pressure of being in a team like McLaren? I mean, there's a team, this is not sober, you have to win, you have to be on the podium. What kind of pressure is Sergio going to be against?
Well, there are different pressures that you get. You get pressures from within, yourself, you put yourself under a lot of pressure to succeed, especially when you're in a team such like McLaren. But you also have pressures because you're not racing for your country as such. We don't race. I don't race for the UK, but you feel that you want to do a great job for your home fans. So there's that pressure as well. But we're all pretty good at what we do, and we wouldn't get to Formula One if we weren't good at what we did. So I feel that Sergio is comfortable in himself and within the team. He's learned so much already, I think, being at McLaren, working with such a great team in terms of what he needs to do, in terms of working with the sponsors. His fitness has to improve a lot, which it has. And we really do need to work as a family and very close to improve the car. 2 drivers, we get the same amount of days in the car. We've got to work well together, and I think we have done so far.
What was your first impression of him? I don't know if you get to meet him in the track earlier, but what was your first impression when you met him as a teammate?
Yeah, I mean, I look at his career so far in F1, and you'd say, he's done very well, and in the Sauber it's a good team, but he's had 3 podiums, which is fantastic. Now he's in McLaren. I've got to know him a bit better, and he's a good guy. He's very relaxed. I think that we have a good relationship already, a working relationship, and he's the sort of guy that I could, go for a beer with or something like that. So it's good to have that in a teammate.
You think he's ready for? I mean, I know you said you're not racing for the UK, but McLaren is like the team for the British. They always follow. You think that Sergio's ready for the pressure of the media, of the fans, asking for wins, asking for a world championship?
I don't think you're ever ready for the questions that you are going to get. The good races are great. Everyone's very positive. But on a bad race weekend, people only remember that race weekend. So that's when it's very difficult. And with the pressure of so many people in Mexico, on the bad days it makes it difficult. But on the good days it makes it great, having that support from so many Mexican fans. And I'm sure he hasn't just got Mexican fans either. So there's pressure. There's a lot to learn in terms of dealing with that. So far he seems pretty relaxed, but that could all change when we get into the racing.
What did you learn about the Mexican fans in Austin? Do you expect something like that when you guys were coming here?
A little bit, you know, they're very passionate. They're very supportive, obviously, of Checo because he's Mexican, but they seem to be really supportive of the sport as a whole, and it's really good to see that in fans. And they always seem happy. You know, I ran around the circuit one night, and there were still Mexican fans in the grandstand, and they were cheering, and I don't know what they were saying, but they were positive, I think. So no, there seems to be a lot of interest, obviously, with Gutierrez now racing. 2 Mexican drivers in the sport is fantastic for you guys. So hopefully there'll be a Grand Prix here in the near future.
From the beginning of your career has been related to sponsors. So you've been done really great with that. So what kind of advice can you give to a rookie or younger drivers to handle these things so well as you're doing right now?
Formula One, when you first start, you think, you know, I'm a good driver. I'm going to work in Formula One, but there's so much more to it. There's obviously the engineering side of things, working with the team and really pushing the team forward. You also have the fitness, the nutrition, you have the sponsors, which is a massive part. This sport does not exist without sponsors and fans. So, you've got to work well with the sponsors. You've got to want to do well with the sponsors. It's not just about doing a sponsor day and just doing it. You should do the best job you possibly can on that sponsor day. And if you do that, you know, you will succeed out of the car as well as inside the car. And you need that these days in Formula One in the way that the world is.
Well, just to end, I'd like to ask you, where you find time to race and then on the triathlons? Where you find time to swim, to go on the bike?
Yeah, it's difficult. I mean, this morning I was in the gym for an hour and I was like, wow, I feel a bit tired today. And I realised we're at 2,300 meters.
Altitude,
yeah. And all day I've been so dehydrated since then. But no, I train as much as I can. With travelling it's difficult, but I've got my bike with me, taking it to Australia, and as soon as I land in Australia, I'm cycling. So it's something I love. It's a passion I have, and I'm racing after Malaysian Grand Prix in America, doing a half Ironman.
So you're going for higher?
Yeah, half Ironman, but I can't train for an Ironman because I don't have enough time. But it's great because it focuses me mentally for Formula One as well.
Well, thank you very much for your time, Jenson.
Thank you, mate. Thanks.
Thank you.